Coming up on this month's Out and About Art, you'll get a look at this year's Mayfaire-by-the-Lake Festival, meet a group of Lakelanders who brought an original piece of work to not only Polk County stages, but also the Tampa Fringe Festival, and find out how the Polk County Utilities Division is incorporating art into their message of awareness. That's all coming up, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Out and About Art. I'm your host, Dion Spires. Just last month, the Polk Museum of Art held their annual Mayfaire-by-the-Lake event right here at Lake Martin. Every year, Mayfair is a highlight for the Polk County art community where the museum invites artists of all mediums to display their work. This year, visitors were able to attend live performances, view visual art, participate in the kids' art tent, buy food from food truck vendors, and so much more, so there was something here for everyone. Check out some highlights from this year's event.
Mayfair came to be around 1971. It was the Polk Museum of Art, and they were trying to do a fine arts festival on the shores of Lake Morton, and it's grown to what it is today.
Today we have 160 artists here with many different mediums, from sculpture and wood and paintings, oil and acrylic and glass. I mean, we have lots to offer for everyone.
Artists have to apply to the show, and they have to give us 3 examples of their artwork and apply through an online application. They are juried through 5 different jurors around Polk County, and the highest score gets invited to the show. We have a judge that comes around. She is from out of state, and she goes around to each one of the artists' booths and checks out their artwork, and the best of show will be picked along with a lot of other awards.
It's my second year at Mayfair. I do what I call abstract reality. It's a mix of realism, surrealism with some abstract designs. I mostly work in wood, doing wood burning and acrylic. There's a lot of diversity here. I mean, you have everything from contemporary to abstract to experimental art, which I like, and there's different mediums. There's 3D sculptures and clay. I mean, there's everything definitely for everyone.
There is some sculptures with metal work and a combination of both, and it was really intriguing. It was really neat, and the technique that the gentleman used was really cool.
And I like the jewelry, of course, so there's lots of jewelry here for people to come out and see, and there's a lot of good stuff.
I'm a digital artist. All my work is hand-drawn on the computer using a stylus, and then I combine different textures, wood, paper as a background element, incorporate a lot of different design elements, colors, textures. I've been doing digital art for over 10 years, and then just started doing festivals about four years ago. It's definitely a good show, a lot of space between the artists. The people that run the show definitely take care of the artists. It's a very artist-friendly environment for sure.
The kids tent, they are focusing this year on the 5 senses, so they have a lot of crafts that involve the different senses so that everyone can enjoy the crafts. And we brought it back down to the lake so that the kids can have more accessibility to the art show and the crafts there.
There's many things to do outside of just looking at the art. There's entertainment on the library lawn throughout the day. Saturday and Sunday we're open from 9 to 4. And then we also have a lot of food options for people. And we have Mayfair golf carts to help out.
My favorite part is seeing all the families that come out, especially the children that get to see all the different creative outlets that these artists bring. And it's just a great event to explore different mediums of art.
I enjoy meeting all the artists and seeing all the different artwork and just hearing about the different techniques they use for their work, and it's just neat seeing how it all comes together.
Well, as an artist, I would definitely try it. I mean, it's definitely a show worth doing. And then, I mean, as a spectator, I mean, yeah, definitely come out and support, art that's in your community. And I would definitely come out. It's a beautiful setting. Lakeland's a cool city. So.
It's a great art. The setup is great. It's around the loop of the lake, so it's very easy. You cannot miss a tent. You can't miss a booth, and it's a nice walk, around the lake.
I think the art community is very large in Lakeland and in Polk County, and I think we have a lot of local artists as well, some from out of state, but from throughout Central Florida, we have such a large group of artists, and we have a lot of talent. We think, year after year, more and more people see that they can bring their artwork to one location and just get a large crowd in front of them, and it's been a great opportunity for them.
The Polk Museum of Art holds the Mayfair-by-the-Lake event every year in the month of May, so be on the lookout for that next year. In the meantime, the Polk Museum does have regularly changing exhibits for no cost at all. For more information on those events and when you can catch them, visit www.polkmuseumofart.org. Next, we introduce you to a group of Lakeland theater artists that are creating original work. Actress Carissa Barber debuted her original show titled Masterwork at the first ever Tampa Fringe Festival, complete with a cast and crew of Lakeland natives. In addition to their Tampa Fringe Festival performances, they also appeared at Theater Winter Haven and the Lakeland Live performance venue. Check out what Carissa and her team had to say about their show.
Masterwork is about a painter. She loves to paint. She went to school for it. She studied abroad and adores it, and then she falls in love. And as love would have it, she then becomes a mom. And the play struggles with how she balances her passion for painting and what she's really great at and she excelled at and she had a career in, and then being a mom. And what is that balance of those two things? And so the play really struggles with that and wrestles with that idea. Being an actress, and I've acted professionally in the Orlando and Tampa area, and I'm a mom of 4 kids, and so as I started aging, I got less and less roles and was looking for something more complex and didn't want to play these mom roles that were very kind of cookie cutter that a lot of musical theater and traditional theater has, and so I wanted to write something that spoke to some of the struggles I had as a mom and an artist, and so I started writing down my ideas and talked to other moms about their ideas and what they struggle with it and what that was to want something and be really great at something and then lose a part of yourself to taking care of these little lives that you've been entrusted with.
Your son was crying. He needed you.
And you took care of him. He's not permanently damaged by crying for a couple of minutes. It all worked out.
What about picking the kids up from school Wednesday, 2 hours late?
Oh. Is that what this is about?
It's all of it.
I got lost in the work that happens.
That's not good enough. They are people. They need their mother.
And I'm here. I've always been here, but right now I have this amazing opportunity. It's going to have to give somewhere.
So our kids.
That is not what I meant.
You wanted to be a mom. You wanted to bring more life into this world, and now all you care about is bringing more art into this world.
Yeah, being a parent is your dream, not mine.
Our dream.
Fine. Sometimes you have to focus on one more than the other. That's how life works. Right now, I have this deadline for the gallery, so that takes precedence. Writing it was challenging because you don't want to come across as ridiculous or sappy. But the play deals with love and the relationships we hold dear. And so for me, that's my husband, and who's an amazing guy. So I didn't want it to come across super sappy. I'm not a super sappy person, and that never reads well on first stage. So writing a balance between honesty and what I feel like is hopeful, which a lot of times we don't wrestle with that here in America. A lot of times we love the depressing, really dark. And even though my piece is a drama, I wanted it to end hopefully.
I think the theme is how do you do both? It's a question she asks in the play is how do you do both, and can you do both? Can you be an artist successfully and well? And can you be a mom, and can you be a wife and actually fully engage and be present? I think a lot of people today, regardless of what they do, have a very easy time disengaging from people in relationships. And I think that can escalate when you have a goal and an aspiration outside of your home and outside of your family. And I think that is the theme. Can you do both? And if you try, what will that take?
Obviously, it comes from a place of love and it comes from a place of experience, but I think it's important that people realize it's not necessarily a biography. It's not the Carissa Barber story. It's just something that was near and dear to her heart. The story of motherhood, the story of women, the story of a woman pursuing passion. You don't see that a lot. You really don't. You don't see a lot of roles for a mom, roles for a woman. So a story talking about what a woman is doing with her life. So that, I think, was definitely the message she was trying to get across, the story she wanted told. It wasn't the Carissa Barber story. It was the story of all moms, all women, all artists, really, at the end of it, just pursuing that passion.
Sharing it has been an awesome experience. The feedback that we got from Tampa Fringe and from other artists, so many parents have come up to me and they resonate with, even artists who aren't parents have said how much they really resonate with this piece of how do you wrestle in your daily life with what you're really great at or what you're passionate about, and then your responsibility to pay the bills. So sharing it with so many people was an incredible experience. I'm really glad that we got to do that. And this is a turning point in my career. It doesn't just happen. The paint doesn't just jump onto the canvas and become something. I have to make that happen. I have to, and I don't see anything wrong with devoting myself to that.
Are you listening to yourself? This has completely consumed you for 6 months. 6
I think the
months.
most difficult part of the process was pushing through all the obstacles. I had a couple of different friends who have produced before said, welcome to being a producer, because I wrote it and I produced it and I'm in it. And so whenever you have the set doesn't go exactly how you want, or someone's not able to come to something or be at something, or you just have to figure out and move through. And sometimes, especially when it's my first piece that I wrote, it's so personal because that's how I feel as a parent, pushing through and going, okay, we said we're gonna do it. Even though maybe it's not exactly how I dreamed it would be, let's move forward because it's a story that people need to hear. Choosing my team, you obviously want to choose people that you feel excited about and you trust. I do a lot of stuff, I have done a lot of stuff at Theater Winter Haven, and so a lot of the artists that I know are here in Polk County, and so it was easy to pull from the friends that you know, people you've worked with, artists you trust, and so just slowly piece together who was available. It's a hard time. May is a hard time to try to find people to be a part of your project, and then people that I thought would really bring something to this piece.
When Carissa started writing the play, I didn't get to read it until we were closer to actually producing it, but she told me that she was in the process of writing this piece about being a mom and being a wife and being an artist and all of those various responsibilities and priorities. And so I was interested in it from that point when she told me she was writing it. And then she called me. It was basically in that conversation where she said, and we're going to be doing this together. And I was like, yes, we are. And that was the first of that kind of team involvement and us coming together on it.
Everyone from our team, our director, stage manager, co-actor, scenic designer, costume designer, composer, they're all from Lakeland. All of them live in Lakeland, which is really exciting.
I grew up in Lakeland. I moved here when I was 11. Lakeland Community Theater was the first full stage theater that I ever did anything in, and I was just immediately hooked. Oh my goodness, I loved it. It was invigorating and inspiring, and so I did a number of shows with them, and then I ended up going to school for theater at Florida Southern. I felt so empowered to just go out and do this, and so I did some stage management work professionally. I've done lots of acting as kids have come and put on the brakes and then restarted, and that's how it's gone. But I've loved the community here in Winter Haven and in Lakeland. I think it's just flourishing and growing all the more, and I'm very excited to see that.
I'm very thankful, that Polk County in general has a great art scene, a lot of support from Harrison School of the Arts and both of the community theaters and the other community theaters in Lake Wales, and I know there's a smaller one in Davenport. I think the art scene, we have the Mayfair and all kind of great arts things. It's not just the performance, it's music. There's live music places all over. There's visual arts. I think that we have a thriving art scene. People just need to discover it.
I think all of art requires something intimate of you. If it's good and if it's honest and if it's not about yourself and it's really about the story and it's about the urgency to tell it, which is the art that I want to do and that I'm interested in doing. I would come away with this realizing how much more that I'm excited to do, having done this, having realized what it takes to do this, and now that I'm on the other side, realizing, okay, we came through it, and we did it, and we told a story, and it resonated, and it was told well, and it was told the way that we wanted to tell it.
I don't feel like this piece is done. I feel like this piece needs to be refined, but we put together what we put together so we could perform it. But I'm kind of looking forward to putting it on the shelf for a little while and then bringing it back out and seeing if we can make it a little bit something different.
Masterwork had a great run at the Tampa Fringe Festival, and Carissa plans to continue on with her original work. You can keep up with Carissa at www.carissabarber.com. The Polk County Utilities Division got involved in the art scene when they held 2 art contests at their annual Seven Rivers Water Festival. They held their regular water conservation art contest as well as their first ever recycled fashion contest in an effort to raise awareness about these issues. The students of our Polk County schools did an excellent job creating the art, and it was a creative way to communicate about important messages for the kids. Take a look at some of the entries that were submitted for the contests.
The idea of the festival is to just bring the public in and let them know that we are having water issues with the water quality and the quantity in Polk County, and to also introduce them to the idea that all of the water issues are related to one another in one way, manner, shape, or form, and that everyone really wants clean water, but we're going about it in different ways, whether we're saving it for the butterflies or for the wild animals or for the landscape or the plants or whatever. We all need clean water. The art contest is over 10 years old. There are other areas who are doing it, and we just thought that was a good idea. Polk County Utilities thought it was a good idea, so we said, well, let's see what we can do with this. And then we started with the art contest, and we said, well, why don't, we've got these entries, let's go ahead and make them into a calendar, and then it just kind of grew from there. We engaged the students through Polk County in grades K through 12. Everyone sends their entries in, everyone who participates. This year we have 204 entries in the contest. The winners will be placed into a water conservation calendar that is also distributed for free, because what we're trying to do is educate the public on conservation, and part of that is to keep the idea of conservation in people's minds at all times. It's usually released in October. Sometimes we have setbacks that are unavoidable. Sometimes it turns out later than that, but usually October, November is when it goes out. We print 5,000 copies of them and distribute them for free. We do send it out through the school board, and I send it out to all the contacts that are within private schools that I have. I have a listing of them that I send them out to every year. It goes out through the school board a couple of times, and then sometimes there are individual teachers who are more interested than others, so I make sure that they know that it's coming. Call Polk County Utilities at 863-298-4100 and let them know that you want a calendar, or you can stop by the utilities office, or we also have them located downtown Bartow at the Neil Covey building.
Utilities decided to add a little fun and funk into the message of eco and saving the environment. So it's like, well, why don't we try to do a recycle fashion show and get some of the kids to recreate items that we're providing them, shirts, pants, just strips of cloth. And so then that way they can recreate something, use it, and therefore it gets a second life, a second chance at life. With the t-shirts, you can cut them and strip them and make bags out of them, little grocery bags, various items. You can recreate the t-shirt. This is a nice thing to wear to the beach. So it looks a little bit more fashionable than just a standard t-shirt. We just had this stuff laid out, and their little brains just started coming alive and putting this stuff together. And the majority of children doing this were in the elementary school age. So very good for a third grader to come up with some really good reuse ideas. As you can see, this is another bag, but it's got, a little face on it, so it's a little funky fun. And then we have another little t-shirt that a child might wear, but she took cloth and made eyes and a mustache out of it. So there again, just some funky wear. And then here, a piece of cloth stapled together, and then the make into another headband. So instead of just handing the clothes down and the child going, well, I don't want to wear that, my sister wore it. They can take it recreate it, and use it again. They're making the connection of reduce, reuse, recycle, and then turning it back into another life, that keeping the life going. So now they can make the connection of recycling, reuse, rewear. So then that gives them a way to come up with some creative outlets. Make another shopping bag.
This is the first time we've had a recycle fashion contest in Polk County, so actually we didn't do too bad. And everything takes a little bit of time to get started. So, and really the students, you really use their imaginations. I'm really proud of them.
Don't forget that the Polk County Utilities Water Conservation Calendar featuring the winners of that competition will be available in the Polk County Utilities headquarters and the Neil Cumbie Administration Building right here in Bartow later this year. That's all I have in store for this month, but there's always plenty going on in our art community, so stay tuned for a list of upcoming events. As always, thank you for joining me, and tune in next time for more art out and about.